He hired workers from Poland, and he had to pay $1 million or so in a judgment.
That's wrong.
That's a fact.
Totally wrong.
Well, people can look it up. I'm sure people are Googling it right now. Look it up. Trump, Polish workers. You'll see $1 million for hiring illegal workers on one of his projects. Yeah, he did.
Senator Marco Rubio tried his best to call out Donald Trump on his evident hypocrisy on immigration. Tonight, new details about what Trump knew and when he knew it. And joining me now, Massimo Calabresi, senior correspondent for Time, author of What Donald Trump Knew About Undocumented Workers at His Signature Tower. And Massimo, can you just explain to us the context here of the project and who was hired?
Sure. So Donald Trump had been seeking to do a marquee project in Manhattan. He had started in Queens, and he'd managed through considerable effort in 1979 to secure the rights to build an enormous tower that would become his home and campaign headquarters and business headquarters right on Fifth Avenue in Midtown. And he was inspecting a work site next door at a property he also owned when he saw some Polish workers there. And according to testimony in trial, the case files of which I reviewed, he told the foreman, hey, those Polish guys are good, hard workers. And the story unfolds from there.
And so then what happens next?
Well, he finds out who the guy's boss is, according to the boss's testimony, who the Polish worker's boss is, according to the boss's testimony, calls him into his office. The guy had never done demolition work before, but Trump wanted to hire him and the Polish workers to demolish the old Bonwit Teller building to make room for the tower at 56th and Fifth Avenue. And he instructed this boss, according to the testimony in the case, that he needed to start a new company and get new insurance. And they discussed price. The boss said the Poles would work day and night, 7 days a week to get the building down.
These individuals did not have proper documentation at the time, am I right?
Oh, they were undocumented. That was an established fact. And in fact, no one, including Donald Trump, ever denied that was the case. He denied knowing many times over the years, but nobody, that's an established fact.
So they are undocumented. He denied knowing. The court documents you reviewed would seem to suggest that that's not true, that he knew exactly what he was doing. In fact, that was part of why he was doing what he did.
Well, the lawyer for some dissident union members who were behind the case where Trump was testifying and where all of this evidence was amassed said in court that the reason Trump, the only reason Trump would have for hiring this man, whose name was Kazicki, who employed the Poles, was because he had this cheap Polish labor and that they were undocumented.
And then the most amazing coda on this is that he then wants to deport them at the end of this.
So despite hiring them at a very, very low wage through this subcontractor, the Poles end up not being paid, and Trump takes over the job from the subcontractor, and they still don't get paid, and they get a lawyer. The lawyer threatens to put mechanics liens on the property, which would prevent Trump from selling any part of the property, and work slows down, and eventually Trump hires a labor consultant who tells him to fire them. He fires the Poles, and then this at trial, the labor consultant testified that Trump not only knew that these guys were illegal, but other people at the trial also testified that Trump threatened to have them deported, to call the INS, through his lawyer, threatened to call the INS and have them deported.
All right, Massimo Calabresi, great piece of reporting. Thank you very much.